Hello and welcome to Talking HBH, episode 1 for season 2011. Another massive year coming up. I've got a two-time former champion in Brett Clarke with me.
How you going, Dale?
And an up-and-comer and a man touted as a future winner of the event. Another one from the Clarke stables, Patrick Clarke.
Good to be here, Dale.
Welcome aboard again, boys. And it's, well, within 3 months, coming up for 2 months of the race, the great race. And I suppose we start by recapping last year. Michael Skian, a surprise winner. What do we make of that day back in December last year, and how it's settled in the time since then?
I think it was a big surprise. Didn't feature in the odds at all. I think it was listed under any other runner. And yeah, obviously the wind played a big part on the day, but a deserving winner, I reckon.
Deserving winner. Brett, he really did come out of nowhere. Was it a fair handicap? Did he deserve to win? I don't think there's been much of a question raised over that, but I mean, for him to come out of nowhere like that, what did you make of it?
Well, I think he deserved to win. He certainly must have been training for a couple of months prior, and he may have got a little bit lucky with the wind on the day, but a fully deserving winner. On a flat day with no wind, I still think he would have been probably favourite to win, but would have been a lot closer than it was in the end. But yeah, full credit to him.
I think you're exactly right when you say about if it were raced on the flat and with no wind, because he won with a tailwind, but he didn't have the scratch runners right on his back. He won by a close finish with James Fleur, but the others were quite a distance back. So I think he had it well in control. It was a very impressive run. Can he do it again? He's been pulled back a few minutes. Where does he sit in the main chances, Patrick?
I think he'll have trouble doing it again. It's going to be a big feat if he can pull that off. Just been pulled back 3 minutes. The wind won't be there this year. A lot of people will be after him. He wouldn't feature in my top chances, I reckon, to be honest. No, I'd have to almost put a line through him at this stage. Running off 3 minutes just goes to show that the HBH committee don't want to be handing out, back-to-back trophies for the first time ever. They're going to make sure he earns it. So, running off 3 minutes, I wouldn't give him much of a hope.
It's probably not beyond him. We saw him last year as an underdog. He seemed to be motivated by that, so maybe the same thing will happen again. The girls' race last year, Shelley Scott, back-to-back. No one's ever done it in the men's race. She's come out in the first 2 years of this new event and really stamped herself as someone that will go down in the history of the event. So she won that one. What did you make of that, Patrick? I think she was favourite going to last year's race.
Yeah, obviously just a bit too strong for Kerry last year and the year before. Just the triathlon trainings and everything like that has just made her into a great runner, and it's going to take a big effort from Kerry or someone like Lauren Scott or anyone else in the women's field to knock her off this year. She's looking strong again.
We can't forget Jack Sangley, who's been a strong runner off scratch as well the last 2 years, and will be running off scratch again. Do you think Shelley Scott will make it three in a row, Brett?
I definitely think this is Kerry's year that she could possibly take her down. Shelley Clarke now will return from her overseas trip on December 1st, which is only two and a half weeks before the big day. So she won't have a full sort of campaign under her belt. So I definitely think this is Kerry's chance to strike.
It's going to be a very interesting women's race, and of course the men's will as well. The handicaps were released just a couple of weeks ago, and they're stretching out from scratch all the way out to 7 minutes. Who do you think the handicaps have really brought into the race, Patrick?
I think Big Sticks is he's got a good handicap there in his second year. He's been given 2 straight up after an impressive run on debut last year. Dominic Hoskin as well, I reckon, is looking okay off 7 if he can get his ankles right and everything like that. If he can get a good training regime under his belt. Yeah. Jason Collins ran under 30 minutes last year, 29, don't have his times in front of me, under 30 minutes, a very impressive run on debut.
Do you think they've been too generous with that one, Brett? And are there any others that you throw into the mix of being handicapped right into this race this year?
6 off 2 minutes is probably fair, but maybe for a second year runner, his first year off a handicap, normally you'd think the committee would have given him 1, so maybe they've been a bit brave giving him 2, but I still think I still wouldn't rate him in the top 3 or 4 main chances. And given the wind affected results last year, I think most people's handicaps have been brought back a peg this year, so I think it's made it hard for a handicapper to win this year unless we've got another big tailwind.
It was a very wild Sunday last year, so even a breeze at their back won't be the same as what we had last year, but then again, who's to say it won't repeat? Brett, yourself was another topical handicap. There was some division in the boardroom discussions whether you'd have a scratch start again or whether you'd be given a minute. You are starting off a minute and probably have your best chance at an HBH title since your last win in 2006. You must really be looking forward to this year's event.
Yeah, we'll see. Lost to Adam by a good 2 minutes or something last year, so I've still got a fair bit of ground to make up on him. But too early to say. My campaign hasn't started yet. I've got no idea what kind of condition I'll be in come December.
And there's a whole list of runners that we could talk about. Some of the great chances, Patrick. There's Dan Ryan, always going to be a chance. He's off 2 minutes, one of the toughest runners in the field. Matthew Clarke, 2 minutes with him. Patrick, you'll be going off 1 with Brett, and you have improved in the last. Still on the way up, we would think. Andrew Schultz off scratch. There's plenty of big chances in there. Out of those sort of few names that we throw up, which ones do you think are going to be around there in the top 3, Patrick?
Matt and Feats are definitely a chance at top 3, I reckon. I reckon both going off 2, they'll push each other, and it'll be good them two pushing each other to hold the lead against the scratch runners and me and Brett off a minute. Very dangerous giving both of them 2 minutes, I reckon, which is increased their chances of winning a lot. Myself and Brett's rivalry as well. I think that'll be good. We'll push each other, try and catch up to Matt and Feats, and I'm looking forward. I'm happy to get a minute this year. And any other chances? Schultz, yes, he'll be up there with JD as well. The City to Bay, pretty close. JD would be better off 12Ks, I reckon, so when it's put down to 7.5, Schultz could be a bit, narrow that gap a bit, so wouldn't discount him either.
It's probably going to be the most fascinating race. Every year we get more numbers, and it does make it more interesting. Lots of close finishes. You just need to look at the likes of James Flurl and Josh Rouse in recent years having 2 really memorable races with each other, and we look forward to their battle again. The name that always comes up in HBH discussions at around this time, a couple of months out, is the great German Adric Bachmeier. What do we make of his chances this year? Brett, start us off. You've spoken to him a bit over the past months since last year's HBH. Do you think he's in any better condition this year than in other years?
I doubt it. Highly doubt that. I just think his body can't cope with the rigours of a HBH preparation. To win the HBH, it's a gruelling couple of months at least, 2 to 4 months, and I don't think he's got it in him to go through a whole campaign without getting injured.
We can't help but think back to 2 or 3 years ago where Bachmeier was running some very impressive times a month or so after the HBH. Another year where he was at his peak a month or 2 beforehand, and he just can't quite seem to get it right. Patrick, as someone who's had 3 preparations behind him now, what do you think shapes up? How do you time it right to get it, on that 3rd Sunday in December? How do you get it right?
Well, it fascinates me how many injuries Adric's body endures over every single training campaign. I'm not one to get injured really just from running or anything, but I can't really comment. Don't get heaps injured from running. I run a fair bit in the preparation and some lengthy runs as well, so I'm not sure his body, like Brett said, it might just not hold up to the rigours of a full training campaign. But I love how the German crowd has stuck behind him over the years, and they're excited for this one as well, I've heard, and just ready to get behind him again year after year.
Yeah, Lady Luck certainly hasn't been kind to Adric Backmeyer over the years, and hopefully he can have an injury-free prep this year. The girls' handicaps we'll talk about just quickly. Shelley, Justina Angley and Kerry Fernandez again going off scratch, which I think is great for that rivalry which is already starting now, the three of them off scratch. Jess Lang goes off 5 minutes, Lauren Scott off 12. What do you think of those handicaps, Brett?
Oh yeah, completely fair. I think the motivation is there for Jess Lang and Lauren Scott to work hard and give themselves every shot at winning, and of course the three big guns off scratch was what was expected. They've had two really close battles already, so no reason to change that.
Patrick, if you had to put your top three at this stage from the field of five, and we don't know what other debutantes there'll be this year, but from those five, how do you shape your top three?
I think the handicaps have done a great job this year, and I'd say Shelley Scott would be number one for a three-peat, Kerry Fernandez, and then Lauren Scott in third with 12 minutes, is it? 12 minutes, yeah. I think she'll battle, get a good training campaign hopefully, and come into...
Lauren Scott had a remarkable improvement on her time last year, and if she can generate anything close to that again, then she will certainly be pretty tough to chase down. I'd love to see Lauren win it this year, and I'm not ruling that out. I think I would also have my money on Shelley winning a third in a row. Kerry, Brett mentioned earlier, is having a real chance this year. Shelley won't have an ideal preparation being overseas. Kerry hasn't had an ideal preparation either. She was preparing for a marathon earlier in the year and had some knee troubles, so we'll see how well she can come through that. That just about brings us to the close of episode 1. Before we finish, Patrick and Brett, just perhaps share your thoughts on which rivalries you're looking forward to seeing this year, and if there were a head-to-head match that you'd love to just have the cameras on all the way from start to finish, which one would it be, Patrick?
The one I'd like to see most is yourself versus Adam Jady, Dale. I think that'll be an enthralling battle with Schultz in there as well. Earlier, like off the handicappers, the Hoskin trio all starting off 7 minutes, I think will be a great battle to watch, and that would be the one I'd like to have my camera on the whole way.
Brett, what do you think?
Yourself and Adam Jady, without a doubt. I think the winner of that will take out this year's title, and I think that says it all.
Oh, a couple of big calls there. I'd be looking forward to Jady with a few people. He's really the hunted, having won twice and the fastest runner, having run 3 times, and last year being the fastest time. The only man to win it 3 times as well. He's really the measuring stick of the event, and Schultz will be out to get him. I'll be doing my best to hang with him, and the old rivalry, Brett Clarke and Adam Jady, which has really been the backbone of the event for all these years, will again be a close one. Brett's been given a minute, and it really adds a new chapter to that rivalry. Well, boys, thanks for joining us, and listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Talking HBH.
But now I'm off this ride, 'cause you're scaring me, and I don't like